back to the 26th episode of Shots on Target with your host, Brad Betts, your global go-to show for football analysis and betting. Today is Monday, September 30th. We went 2-1 on our play of the days on our Friday episode. We went 2-1 on our live bets. Our board went 1-0 on its only bet. We finished 5-1-1 on the weekend. Love to see those numbers, but what we're going to do is we're not going to look back. We're going to go ahead and look ahead. Today is Monday, which means we're going to have some interesting matchups. People coming off the weekend, maybe a little bit hungover. Sometimes these matchups on Monday are a little bit underwhelming, so we want to take today a little bit easy. Let's not go gung-ho. We got the Champions League the next 2 days, followed by the weekend fixtures coming up after that. So we're going to highlight 3 matches that I find very interesting that we want to notate, and then we're going to jump straight into our play of the day. So let's go ahead and jump straight into our first match. Nobody's surprised at hearing the name Villarreal from me at this point in time. Villarreal have scored in 22 straight league matches and conceded in 25 of their last 29. They've hit both teams to score in 19 of the last 22 matches that they played in their league in Spain. They're taking on a Las Palmas squad who has scored 6 of their 7 matches this season, and they've conceded in 20 of their last 21 league matches. So it is regular production from a Las Palmas squad. It's really regular production from a Villarreal squad, but I don't love the way this matchup is situated. I would rather Villarreal be the away side in this fixture to play both teams to score, or maybe even the over. I just don't love it enough. I would like to see how Las Palmas is reacting in this game before I jump into it. So I did want to notate, hey, Villarreal is on the schedule today. They've hit both teams to score in 19 of the last 22 matches that they've played in the league. They score regularly, they concede regularly. If their opponent looks hungry at all, it's a match that you would want to attack goals in. Next, we're going to take a look in Italian Serie A at a matchup between Parma and Cagliari. Parma have scored in 22 of their last 27 matches, which is really solid for a team that's newly promoted from Serie B to Serie A in Italy. They've actually scored in all 5 matches in the league this season since being promoted, and those include Napoli, Milan, and Fiorentina. So 3 of the top squads in Italy. That's really solid production from a Parma squad who looks very hungry. They have a really set pattern of play. They don't necessarily have dudes who are going to totally overrun you physically, but they have a really solid foundation. They're well coached, and offensively, they just know how to move the ball into compromising positions. Very similarly to their opponent, Cagliari, but with Parma, they've conceded in 13 of the last 14 matches coming into this match. Regular conceders, just as well as they are with finding the net. They are at home. They should score against the Cagliari team. This Parma squad, the one match that they didn't score was a friendly. They've scored in 8 straight league matches. They've scored in all 6 matches this season, so they're regularly doing well. But then you have a Cagliari squad who really presents us with a little bit of a challenge here. They've scored in 1 of their 5 matches so far this season, and prior to that, it was 17 of their last 19 that they scored. So they were scoring, but lately they aren't scoring, so we need to look at those matches individually. Well, the EXG in those 4 matches that they didn't score was 0.98, so just under 1, which is good, 1.88, 1.02, and 2.30. So they are finding lots and lots of chances, but they're failing to convert, which shows in that 1 of 5 to scoring in the matches that they've scored to start the season. But, with Cagliari, we've played them regularly at home. They've conceded in such a regular fashion, 23 of their last 26 in the league, and 4 of their 5 this season. And then you look at the matchup history, in the last 9 times they've played one another, both teams to score has come in. I expect the over to hit more so than both teams to score, even though I expect both teams to score. but that's a really ugly minus 160, minus 155, minus 165. I think that price is not worth the play. So if it does drop, maybe even to plus money, it might be worth it. I would probably look for that over 1.5 on the live total if it does drop, or if I see that things are just back and forth and back and forth. It's a match I want to look at because I need to see how Cagliari's playing. They are getting tons and tons of chances. We're talking 15, almost 20 shots a game. High EXG, but they're still not finding the net, so it is worrisome and something that you need to pay attention to. Next, the board is speaking today. It likes a play that is a bit ugly on the juice, so it might be something we look at live. But over in the Swedish Allsvenskan, that's Sweden, there's a match between Bromma Pojkarna, Brommapojkarna. They've scored in 22 of their last 27 and conceded in 19 of their last 22, regular performers. And Västerås on the away end, who's their opponent, they've scored in 13 of their last 15 and conceded in 27 of their last 30. So both teams have a really hard time finding a clean sheet, which is really what you want to look at when you're trying to bet in goals in a match between two teams at the bottom end of the table. And so these numbers look pretty solid, which is why it's hovering around minus 200-ish. I don't think that's a good number for a pre-match bet. I don't want to look at the over 2.5 or as a parlay because of the matchup history. It has hit both teams to score in 6 of the last 7 matches, but a number of those ended on 1-1. So if this line drops live, it's going to most likely be a match that I target. Now, to our favorite look of the day. Again, it's a Monday, so let's be gentle. We have a plethora of matches through the rest of the week and into the weekend. But let's take a look at the Danish Superliga match today between Nordsjælland and Brøndby. Nordsjælland come in scoring in 35 of their last 39 matches. And they've also conceded in 26 of their last 30. That's really solid production from a top Nordsjælland squad that we have tailed on a regular basis. They've hit both teams to score in 22 of 28. They've hit over 2.5 in 27 of the last 34 that hit both teams to score. So only 7 of those remained at 1-1. That's 80%. Very important because Brøndby have scored in 36 of their last 40. Again, both sides finding the net with absolute regularity. And they've conceded in 23 of their last 31 league matches, which is good, and 23 of their 31 matches, but 17 of their last 22 in the league. So they are conceding, are scoring, both home and away. Brøndby have also hit over 2.5 goals in 35 of the 40 matches that hit both teams to score. And then you look at this matchup history between the two, so it looks like there's a good chance for goals. When they play one another, how do they perform? Well, in 7 of the last 8 matchups between the two, both teams' score has come in. And in 6 of the last 8 matches, over 2.5 goals has come in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take both teams' score and over 2.5 goals. And we're going to parlay those together. And on ESPN Bet, that line is at minus 125. You're not going to find this match on FanDuel. You're not going to find it on MGM. You'll find it at DK, a little bit juiced. And I don't even hate the 2.75 if that's the only line that you have, but I would rather you play the 2.75 at minus 155 than I would rather you play the BTTS and over 2.5 parlayed at minus 145. I think that it would be a better chance to get to 4 goals than it would be for both of those to hit. So that is an option for those who do not have this parlay. But on ESPN Bet, both teams to score over 2.5 for Nordsjælland and Brøndby parlayed together at minus 125. In the Danish Superliga, or the Denmark Superliga. That concludes today's episode for the matches that we've looked at. I'm going to take a look at the chat. It looks like we got Gator fan here to support today. Huge win by the Gunners this weekend. Absolutely. Who was sweating? Me, throughout the entirety of the game. Russell Johnson, great weekend from myself and Prince. Absolutely. The Prince came in, absolutely knocked it out of the park, gave us some great plays, great knowledge, and helped pick us up moving into the weekend. Love the play of the day, Russell. I appreciate that. We're going to remember, keep it light, keep this one. We're going to look at these matches that we've highlighted to see if there's a possibility of the live market giving us some advantage. So pop into that Telegram, which we've already done this morning. Those who are in the Telegram this morning profited for free. The line broke in DraftKings, which is something that you guys need to notate. Make sure you're following me there because lines break in these sports books all the time. It's very hard for them to keep up. An overturned goal, it can occasionally break it very quickly. Well, this match broke completely. It was at the Latvia game. It showed RFS 3-0 on DraftKings, and it showed RFS out of Latvia on MGM at 2-0. I checked every one, AI score. Was it FOTMob? Literally, it goes on and on. I checked them all. Everything said 2-0. So what I did is the lines were playable, jumped in on that over 2.5 on MGM, and as that line continued to go down, I kept it on that under 3.5 and kept pounding because I knew that if one scored, then you could just play that over 2.5 and bail out all the way, and you'd already hit your over 2.5 in the other book. So what that is free money. It's an instant chance for all of us to take advantage of the sports books, which are the people who constantly take advantage of us. So it's nice to get one back, to pay attention, to be locked in to Brad Betts, the Telegram, the YouTube channel Shots on Target, and everything that we have going on here. Again, that concludes our episode today of Shots on Target, Monday, September 30th episode, our 26th. Fantastic to get through 26 episodes, and our 27th tomorrow is going to be heavily invested into Champions League football. That concludes our episode for today. I'll catch you guys tomorrow.